We've had CDL schools busted from Washington all the way to Florida. We got bribery, falsified tests, skipped road exams, and stuff set up like you wouldn't believe. A system that looked the other way. And when you've got schools promising, we'll get you on a job before the ink dries, you can bet they're not measuring comprehension. They're measuring the numbers. If a student can't read a safety directive, can't understand hazardous materials load manifest, or can't communicate with an officer of the law, that's not a small problem. That's a rolling time bomb. Let me ask you, have you ever been on the road around someone who clearly did not look like they knew what they were doing? Greetings, truck lovers and truth seekers from all over the United States of trucking. Boss man here. Another headlines update. Critical thinking fueled by faith, sanctioned by God. Requiring English proficiency is about one word: standards. Standards that say if you're going to pilot an 80,000-pound vessel, you ought to understand the language of the land you're driving.
Why did you park here? No, no good. Is there anybody else in the truck? Is there anybody else in the truck?
My company,
Your company. Okay, you don't understand English. What company do you work for?
my, my company, California.
Your company's called California?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you don't understand me.
That's exactly what the trucker article we're talking about today highlighted. Links in the description. Schools like Houston County Community College now realizing that trucking education can't just be about getting somebody in a seat. It's about making sure that drivers they train are on the highway and can read, respond, and react the same way everywhere and in the language of safety. Not because it's trendy, not because it's responsible, but because it's the right thing to do. You see, professionalism doesn't start in the camp, it starts in the classroom. And what's really a shame is recently we're finding out a lot of these new guys didn't even get there. When we lower the bar to fill empty seats, we don't just grow an industry, we dilute it. And for far too long, training game has been about getting bodies through the door, not professionals on the road. Think about it. If pilots had flight schools like some of these CDL mills, half their fleets would be grounded by sunrise. We'd have a lot more than just Louisville dropping out of the sky. But in trucking, we've tolerated mediocrity under the excuse of helping people get work. Now, helping people is one thing, but helping people get work doesn't mean handling with a license they've never earned. What that eliminates is the possibility of safe travel. So, do you think we're losing good people who simply just need more time and training? Or do you think there's something else at play here? You think Sean's on the right track? Let us know in the comments below. See, in the past year alone, we've seen CDL schools in Washington, Oregon, Florida, and even here in the Carolinas exposed for falsifying test scores, selling certifications, skipping skill tests, exams, accepting envelopes, you name it. One Washington examiner was literally caught taking cash filled envelopes to pass students who couldn't even speak enough English to understand the pre trip. In Florida, officials discovered entire portions of the driving test had been fast tracked, meaning skipped, just to keep the graduation rate high. And in New York and in Long Island, we highlighted a few videos back about one girl working inside the DMV who set up fake exams and even went in disguised on her own to get people licensed. And here in the Carolinas, hundreds of drivers woke up one morning to find out their hard earned CDLs were invalid because the school they attended issued them under a criminal investigation. These aren't just isolated mistakes, they're symptoms of an ecosystem built on shortcuts. Schools chasing funding rather than results, recruiters chasing headcounts rather than quality, regulations chasing everyone down. Do you think stories like this deserve daylight instead of silence? Email our studio. That's truckinnews@outlook.com. That's Truckin News at Outlook.com. And if you believe, like we do, that the future of trucking deserves our voice, our faith, and your fire, go down below and become a subscriber. While you're at it, comment the word more, because this isn't just a story about rules. This is about a line in the sand, drawn not by regulators, but by truth. And your acceptance to the fact that this ain't the last story on this. We're going to keep highlighting schools that don't do the job right. We're going to keep broadcasting every one of them that the DOT and FMCSA shut down. See, we're on to you guys. If you're run by a private company or a third party that just all you want is money, your days are numbered. From this mile forward, we rise to the standard. We expect that things will be done right. Washington might have drawn the first line. Sean might have said something before anyone, but it's people like you and me, the men and women with our hands on the wheel and our hearts in the fight, we'll decide where that road really leads. Because when you see people out there that are obvious products of incorrect and improper, let us know. It's the truth that will set us free. It's the truth that will help make trucking great again. Standards have been set. Lines been drawn. Now it's up to us to make sure it never gets crossed again.